Welcome to Newsmax TV. I'm Kathleen Walter. Donald Trump, CEO of the Trump Organization and host and executive producer of NBC's Apprentice, paid Newsmax TV a special visit this week. Here's part 2 of our exclusive interview. Let's talk about the situation with the states, because several states, including New York, are struggling financially.
To put it mildly.
Should the federal government consider bailing out the states or let them go bankrupt, in your view?
The federal government has no money. The money that the federal government has is all fleeing. It's being taken away. Between fighting wars and being the policeman for countries that, in all fairness, we shouldn't have been in the first place. And just so you understand, I'm a very conservative person, and I am the world's greatest hawk. I am a hawk. I'm a very militant person. I'm a big believer in the military. But we should be rebuilding our own country. We go to Afghanistan, we build a road, we build a highway, we build a school at the end of the highway. The school gets blown up, the road gets blown up, and we start it all over again. Why are we building roads in Alabama? Why are we building roads in New Jersey, coming into Manhattan? You come into Manhattan on roads that look like we're a third world country. Why aren't we building our own nation? We're building things and they're blowing them up. And it's never going to change. It's never going to change. You think they're going to have democracy? I don't think so. Iraq is a perfect example. As soon as we leave, Iran, you know, for many, many years, hundreds of years, it was back and forth between those two countries, or whatever you want to call them. Now, we're going to leave, and we've totally defanged Iraq. Iran will come in and take over the oil. As sure as you're sitting there, Iran will come in and take over the oil of Iraq. Now, you tell me, what have we done? And frankly, I think if somebody's going to take over the oil in Iraq, maybe it should be us.
Well, do you support a timeline for withdrawal of troops from Afghanistan?
Well, I have two ways. Number one, we should be out of there as soon as possible. At the same time, when Obama announced that he's going to be out now at a certain date, these militants are just sitting back saying, hey, wait a minute, he gave us a specific date. This is fantastic. We'll just sit back for a little while, then we'll take it over the minute they leave. So for him to give a date of withdrawal was a very, very dangerous, foolish, and stupid thing to do. But the fact is that I would like to rebuild the United States. We need rebuilding. I go to Abu Dhabi. I go to Qatar. I go to countries in the Middle East and other places. You go to China. They have airports that are so unbelievable. What they're building is unbelievable with our money, whether it's money we pay for oil or money we pay for products, like in China. China is rebuilding itself. We are rebuilding China. And then you come into LaGuardia Airport. It's like a third world country. You come into Kennedy Airport, Kennedy International Airport. It's obsolete. It's a third world airport. And we have to rebuild ourselves.
You talk about rebuilding. Where would you begin?
That's a very interesting question. There's a lot. One thing, we would have no lack of projects. You do airports, you do roadway, you do mass transit, you do a lot of things. You do a lot of things. I mean, we're spending so much money. We've spent 1.2 trillion. Now that's what they report. 1.2 trillion in Iraq. And yet we can't fix New Orleans. And we can't fix Camden, New Jersey, and we can't fix our own cities. It's insane.
Now, you have made your fortune in commercial real estate, but can you speak to the housing and real estate market in general? What can be done to turn things around there?
Well, I'm a free market guy. I mean, it's really a mess, the housing market, and, you know, with all of this government nonsense and all of these subsidies that they're trying to do, which aren't working. It's actually a great time for people to go out and buy houses. But so much money is being taken out and so much money is being wasted. But this is now a great time. And you know what? To those people that are listening, and I guess there are probably quite a few, because this is really some place that's been built up by everybody, by Chris and everybody. All of those people, take my word. I can't guarantee it, but I'm pretty sure this is right now a great time to go out and buy a house. And in 10 years, you're going to look back and say, you know, I'm glad I listened to that interview with Donald Trump. So you go out. The good news about what's happened with housing is it gives people a chance who never had a chance before to go out and buy a house. So it really is. I think it's a great time right now to go out and buy a house. Now, good news, get a good price. Bad news, the banks aren't there. The banks have really let us down. They number one, really did some bad things and caused some bad problems. Number two, if you have something that you want to buy, like a house, they're generally not there for you. So somebody has to get these banks moving. They have not treated the country properly.
What should be done to ease up credit?
Well, they have to open up the banks. I mean, the banks have been given billions and billions of dollars of subsidy, and yet if you want to go out and buy a house, you go to a bank, you can have good credit ratings, they're going to loan you very little money, if any at all. And that's one of the reasons that the housing market collapsed, is the fact that the banks aren't giving you any money. So if somebody who's worked hard and built up some nice equity wants to go out and buy a house, you can't buy it because of the fact that the banks aren't loaning you money. So with all of the money the banks have taken in, they sit back, they keep their cash, they invest their cash in other things. I'm not even saying that's wrong, but they have to invest their money also in people wanting to put money into houses. Otherwise, you're not going to solve this housing problem for a long time. With all that being said, this is a great time to go out and buy a house.
All right, well, let's talk about the Fed's second round of quantitative easing. Was it wise in your view?
No, I'm a free market person. I don't believe it was wise. I think it helped temporarily for a little period of time, but now that easing is over, and now you're going to see some bad numbers start to come out, and you're already seeing that today. People are saying, wait a minute, the numbers aren't as good. You know, they're putting hundreds of billions of dollars into the economy, and the economy still is not very good. The real jobless rate, if you look at the real rate, it's 17% to 18%, and maybe even, depending on the way you want to calculate it, substantially higher than that, not 9.4%. But what's happening is they put a lot of money out, trillions of dollars. I mean, just if you look at the amount of money that they've put out over the last 3 or 4 years, it's unbelievable. Now, in some cases, they're going to get their money back. In other cases, they're not. But to do what they've been doing recently is absolute insanity, because what it's doing is really killing the dollar.
What about the European debt crisis that's hitting Greece, Portugal, and Ireland? Are you concerned that that could infect the U.S.?
You know, it's a problem. They're small. Let Germany handle it. Germany's a very strong, powerful nation because of, a little bit because of us. I mean, we buy lots of Mercedes-Benzes and lots of other German cars. We do very nicely. Germany does very nicely with us. But it's really a problem, in my opinion. Let Germany handle that one. We can't be taking care of the world. Greece has a problem, too bad. Somebody else has a problem, too bad. That's a Euro problem. They compete against Boeing, they have Airbus. Let Germany solve the problem. Germany is a very powerful, very rich nation. Let Germany, we wish them a lot of luck.
Where do you see gold headed? There's a new Reuters poll that says that analysts think that gold could hit as high as 1520 in 2011.
I think gold will go up as long as people don't have confidence in our president and our country. And they don't have confidence in our president. You look at what's happened with health care. I have friends that want to close down their business over this new health care, or as we call it, Obamacare. So if you look at what's going on with costs and with health care and with lots of other things, gold is going to go up because they don't have confidence in the president and they don't have confidence in the country. They don't have confidence in our negotiators. They have confidence in other countries. They have everyone wants to go and invest in China. I have friends, they're very smart people, they have money. They want to go to China and invest their money. I will say this, I'm not saying I'm running, but there's a very good chance that I will. But if I run, people are going to want to invest in this country.
Well, let's talk about the show because it premieres in March. I've been a fan for some time. What is different this season, and is there any one cast member who's already standing out?
Well, I think it's one of the best we've ever done, if not the best. We have an amazing cast, whether it's LaToya Jackson or Marlee Matlin. We have just incredible people. Meatloaf, somebody downstairs just said, I love Meatloaf, I love Meatloaf. How is he? He's great. I mean, we have an amazing group of people. John Rich, the country singer. It's just something that is wild. We have a fight with Star Jones and Nene Leakes. Nene is, as you know, Housewives of Atlanta. They have a fight on this show, which goes on and on and on. But they have a fight that makes Omarosa look tame. Okay, Omarosa looks like a nice person compared to the fight that they have. Gary Busey, this is a real piece of work. He's a genius, but I mean, he's a little messed up. But we have them all, and it's going to be a great show. I think it's going to do fantastically well. But, you know, the whole Apprentice thing has been a great success. And perhaps it's why I'm sitting here. I mean, everybody knows me, I guess, because of, I was well known, as somebody said, I was well known before the great success of The Apprentice. But now I'm even better known. But more importantly, people have got to know this. They understand that I know what I'm doing. I'm a rational person. I'm intelligent. I went to great schools and I got great marks. But I also know when I look at something how to solve problems. And I will say, this country has huge problems. In President Obama's speech the other night, he didn't talk about deficits. He didn't talk about how to pay off all the debt that we have. Instead, he's telling everybody what a great country China is, that China has the fastest computer in the world. He's like, I'm saying that should be for the president of China to be talking about, not for Mr. President Obama. So I looked at that speech, and everyone said, oh, it was good, it was good, it was all right, Sputnik, it was okay. I didn't think it was okay.
If you're elected president, would you shoot The Apprentice in the White House?
No, if I am elected president, I wouldn't be doing The Apprentice.
All right, well, one of your celebrity apprentices, Piers Morgan, has taken over for Larry King on CNN. Is Piers as good an interviewer as he was an apprentice in your view?
Well, Piers is a very smart guy. I mean, I took a little abuse because Piers was a tough guy, and everybody agreed he was smart, but he was very tough. And, you know, I'm very proud of him because, number one, taking over from Larry King, he got America's Got Talent. He's done great, and really nobody in this country knew too much about Piers. But if you look at what's happened, Piers has become successful. Joan Rivers and she went on television and said, she was not being booked at all. Now she's the highest paid comedian in the country. You look at Trace Atkins, he's the biggest country singer. Bret Michaels is like a big superstar now. And what am I doing? I'm sitting here doing an interview with you.
Well, so tell me when 9
What
o'clock...
do I get out of it?
Well, when 9 o'clock hits, who do you watch, Piers or Fox's Sean Hannity?
Well, I like Sean Hannity a lot. He's great. I did his show the other night. I think he's a great guy. The great thing about TiVo and the like is that you can watch everything. But I always watch Sean Hannity. I watch Bill O'Reilly. I watch Greta. I think they're just great. I think it's terrific. I do Neil Cavuto's show a lot. So when you're talking about Fox, they have done, Roger Ailes has done one of the great jobs in the history of media.
So if you were to meet President Obama or see him, what would you tell him? Would you tell him you're fired?
I know you want me to say that. It's just too trivial. I'm sorry. That's what I can't do. I would just say that, look, you can do better, and you can do maybe a lot better. And instead of hiring diplomats and putting diplomats to negotiate with the red Chinese, because essentially we're dealing with people that truly, truly are not only smart, these are great natural negotiators that are not our friends. They're looking to strip us of everything they can strip of. I would say go out and get the great business leaders that we have. We have great business people, great minds, tough, smart, brilliant. Use those people to negotiate with these countries. Don't use a diplomat whose training is to be a nice person. A diplomat gets the word diplomat. They're trained to be nice people. I don't want nice people. I want people that are going to bring this country back. This country is in serious trouble. It's not going to be a great country for long. It may not be a great country now, but this country has to be brought back. Go out and get the toughest, smartest guys, because that's what you need if you're going to beat China and other countries.
All right, Mr. Trump, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And thank you for watching Newsmax TV.